Hello, anatomy students. This is a video for the dissection of muscle group 5, the abdomen. If you look at your list, we have 5 different structures that we need to identify today. The very first thing that you probably notice as you look at the abdomen of the mink, and the head is up towards this end of your screen, is that you have this long white line running down the middle, which is simply connective tissue to which these abdominal muscles connect to the middle of the body, to the midline of the body. This white line is called the linea alba, which means white line. Now, on either side of the linea alba, you can see a muscle that's a little bit different in color. The fibers are running in a different direction. This is called the rectus abdominis, and these fibers are following the line. They're parallel to our linea alba, but you're only seeing a part of this muscle. Part of it goes underneath this other muscle that lies on top of it. So here you can see some connective tissue, and this is where the external abdominal obliques cover up a very small portion of the rectus abdominis. Now, it's along this margin that we are going to very, very carefully cut through some of this connective tissue so that we can see the rest of the rectus abdominis and then some of the other muscles that lie underneath. So right now what we can see is linea alba, rectus abdominis, and external abdominal obliques. Now, I have to warn you that when you're dissecting the abdominal muscles, these muscles are extremely thin, like tissue paper thin, and so you need to be extremely careful so as not to puncture the abdominal wall. We don't want to expose any of the intestines or any of the other organs that lie beneath. Not yet. We're just looking at the muscles, so you have to be extremely careful. All right, so what I'm going to do in order to start to expose these muscles, and I found that to work a little bit lower usually gives you a better view of our internal abdominal obliques and our transversus abdominis. So at about the middle of the abdomen, I'm going to work down this way, and I'm just going to take the tip of a scalpel and I'm just going to scratch and just kind of scrape it a little bit just so that I can start to lift up the margin of the external abdominal obliques. Let's see how I did. And again, this can be slow. Some mink will be a little bit easier than others, but just take your time. Okay, there we are. And so you can see how extremely thin this external abdominal oblique is. And so now what I'm doing is I'm just using my probe to gently lift away the external abdominal obliques so that we can see the muscles that lie underneath. And the big trick here in the abdominal muscles is to look at the direction of the muscle fibers, because that's going to tell you when you're looking at a different muscle or not. And so we're just going to try and scrape a little bit here. There we go. Okay, so once you have maybe about a 2-inch piece right here, I'm going to take my scissors and just cut laterally like so to try and make a little window. so that we can see what lies underneath. Again, you can pull back a little bit more. There we go. And just use your probe to gently try to take away some of these little pieces of connective tissue so that we can see the direction of the fibers here. And, you know, unlike some of the other muscle groups, you're probably going to want to tear away just with your fingers some of this connective tissue. I'm going to advise you not to in the abdominal region, again, because the connective tissue does adhere very closely to the muscle and you will easily tear it. So I know like there were some muscles where you could kind of peel off the connective tissue, kind of like an orange peel, but like I said, that's not something that you really want to do here. Okay, so now let me just reorient you to what we're looking at. And we still have some connective tissue here, but I think I'm going to leave it. Okay, so here's what you're seeing. Once again, if I close up the little window that I just made, we have the linea alba, and then next to it, we have the rectus abdominis, and over it, we have the external abdominal obliques. And then having separated the margin between the external abdominal obliques and the rectus abdominis, we can open up this little window, and now we can see some of the other muscles here. So external abdominal obliques actually covered up some more of rectus abdominis, and if you look very closely, you can see that here these fibers are running cranially to caudally. So all of this is still rectus abdominis. But then if you look over on this side, off to the right of your screen where my probe is, you can see that you've got another sheet of muscles here that are kind of running diagonally upward. This is the internal abdominal obliques. And then where these our rectus abdominis and the internal abdominal obliques meet, in the middle, you have another sheet of muscle. And I don't want you to try too hard to like separate the rectus abdominis and stuff so that you can see these, but here, this is the transversus abdominis. So you can see all of the muscles that you need to identify just in this little area. So once again, rectus abdominis. Rectus abdominis is even over here. All you have to do is look for the direction in which these muscle fibers are running. The part that you cut the little window in, this is your external abdominal oblique. Deep to that, we have the internal abdominal oblique. And then the rectus abdominis and the internal abdominal oblique kind of form a V, and in the middle of that V, you have the transversus abdominis. All right, thanks for watching. Good luck on your own dissection.